Large hurricane. It's not the largest hurricane we've seen by no stretch of the imagination, but it is a powerful hurricane, and it's really wrapped around tight, and it's going to pack a punch when it makes landfall, and it is making landfall as we speak. So you see this right here. That is going to be the eye. Let's actually zoom in on that real quick here. So this eye is very close to Grand Isle, and actually as I go ahead and draw, which one do I want to use? I'm probably going to, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go to the radar here. So I want to show you what the rain looks like at the moment, because the rain around this is very heavy. So we're talking about some really torrential downpours that are occurring right around that eye. Look at the colors here. Those colors, the yellows, the reds, that is heavy rainfall, and that is why we have a flash flood threat today. And as I go ahead and zoom in here really quick, just to show you where that eye is making landfall now as we speak. Where is it making landfall exactly? Well, let me go ahead and zoom in. Some of these names can pop up for you just for reference. This is Grand Isle right here. So that eye making landfall just to the southwest of Grand Isle. Some pretty crazy scenes coming out of Grand Isle right now. And actually, as we zoom in even farther, just to show you, this is going to be Highway 7 here, which is pretty much inundated with water at this point, but it looks like Port Fourchon. That's the one, that is where the landfall is going to take place. So we now have that pretty much confirmed here of exactly where that Hurricane Ida, is going to make landfall right there. So that is there. Let me go ahead and zoom out real quick just to give you an idea of how large this eye wall is. Look at how wide it is, and notice the heaviest rain actually on the back side of that wall. So it's on the southern side. So not getting as much heavy rain right here as it makes landfall. And once that eye completely comes on shore, you're going to notice much heavier rain on the south side of that storm. So really heavy rain expected there. And as we go a little farther inland, just to show you where that rain is falling, we are seeing some more rain near Golden Meadow. Winds are really beginning to whip up over here. Let me get rid of that so it's not blocking your view. And as we go up to Lockport, Houma, Thibodaux, that's where the rain is becoming a little lighter out there. We're not seeing as much heavy rainfall out there. But as we go towards New Orleans and Jean Lafayette, of course, seeing some pretty good rainfall. Now, Letcher, Laplace, you're seeing some scattered showers right now, but as we go farther north, Baton Rouge is pretty much clear right now. So we kind of hit a dry slot, and let me show you what we're talking about, because most of that rain actually is to the west of us right now. We had a really heavy band of showers and storms come through the area earlier today, about an hour, 2 hours ago. That has now moved to the west towards Lafayette and is no longer in Baton Rouge, but notice all that rain again is now down here. But this hurricane, we're talking about really catastrophic winds. What does the storm surge look like? Last time I wanted to zoom in on road level to show you where homes could be inundated with storm surge. I wasn't able to do that because the graphic was not moving for me. I fixed it. So now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you exactly where you need to be worried about storm surge. So let me click that map right there. All right. This is from the National Hurricane Center, and they pretty much have a graphic all over the area showing you exactly where you need to be worried about that storm surge. So as we take a look here, this is going, oh no, yes, it's not working still. That's unfortunate. Let me try to zoom in. Nope, it will not work for me. Well, I tried. I really wanted to get you a closer look at that. I'll have to save some graphics over on this map so I can get you a better idea of what we're looking at here. But this wind is going to cause really high storm surge. Those winds blowing water on land. And all this area in red here, all the way down to the south side of Houma, is going to be under 9 feet or more of water. That's a lot of water, guys, a lot of water that we could be seeing out there. And as we go to south of New Orleans, notice New Orleans is not highlighted. They got that levee system protecting them, but as you go up towards Lake Maurepas, we are seeing more oranges. And those oranges, and now it's starting to zoom in some more, you notice the orange, that's 6 foot or above of storm surge. So I'm not 6 feet, so I would be completely under the water if I was in a large part of Houma right now, or Lockport, or even on the edges of Thibodaux. Thibodaux looking a little better for the downtown area, but on the outskirts it's certainly inundated in a lot of water. Now we have a hurricane warning in place across the area. That is the wrong graphic. But we do have a storm surge warning in effect, pretty much where the hurricane warning goes all the way up to the Mississippi coast, then a tropical storm warning, and that storm surge warning in effect for much of the area. Baton Rouge not included in that, but notice Gonzales, French Settlement, Port Vincent, areas around Lake Maurepas. We're talking about very high storm surge out there, so that's something we'll have to watch. As far as the winds are concerned, you're going to see some really strong winds out there. We're talking almost a guarantee of seeing tropical storm force winds across the area all the way up into Mississippi, because it's expected to maintain its Category 2 or 1 status when it approaches Baton Rouge. Let me show you what I'm talking about as we take a look at that cone. The latest from the National Hurricane Center, pressure of 933 millibars as it makes landfall at this hour. That is 3 more than what it was before. It was 930 about an hour ago, so it is not really strengthening anymore, but it's at 150 mile per hour winds right now. If it reaches 155 miles per hour, it will be the strongest to ever hit here. As we go ahead and play out this cone here for you, you'll notice Category 2 as it's just to the south of Baton Rouge, and then once you get to the north of Baton Rouge, we're seeing tropical storm force winds as you go up the Mississippi River into the state of Mississippi, and that's going to be in the morning, by the way, on Sunday, that particular line there at about 60 miles per hour. It will then weaken into a depression, but let's take a closer look at that cone over Baton Rouge. That cone has actually had an eastward shift since like in the last hour or two, and that eastward shift, the models look to be following that. Our in-house models following it. The HER, another model we use, high resolution, it's following it. So it looks like the center may actually pass to the east of Baton Rouge. That's good news for Baton Rouge. That's bad news for, say, Hammond. So you're going to see a lot of heavy rain on the east side and along the center, but right on the west side of this storm, it's actually going to be good news for you. Now, as I go back to the satellite imagery, I want to show you one more time where that heaviest rain is falling, because this is the real big concern with this storm. We're going to see catastrophic wind across the coast. However, you'll see probably just looking like tropical storm force winds as you go up into Mississippi, and then lighter hurricane force winds as you go. Oh, I've got to hit X here. I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't show. There we go. So now we got the radar pulled up here, and again, Estelle starting to get some of the heavier rain, but that eye wall is beginning to move onshore at this hour. And again, Grand Isle is just to the east of that. As I zoom in more, you'll see Port Fourchon is the one where that eye wall is making landfall at this very hour. It's a major Category 4 hurricane, so you're talking about catastrophic wind damage here as that eye begins to make landfall, and really heavy rain happening right on the south side of this with wind speeds super strong. And actually, I want to show you what those wind speeds are looking like. So the radar does something really fancy. It can show us what we call velocity in the atmosphere, and that gives us an idea of what the winds are looking like. Now, this is the radar site's in Slidell. It's not over the ocean. So you're looking a little higher up in the atmosphere. But as we take a look at basically storm relative velocity, you see the greens here and the reds showing air going away from the radar and air going towards the radar. And I'm actually going to show you what some of these winds are looking like. So let's check that out. Looking like 120 mile-an-hour winds there, according to the radar. Now, this would not be exactly at the surface, but very strong winds. On the opposing side, 129 miles per hour, 130 mile per hour winds, according to the radar. Now, once this makes landfall, we should have some weather stations, some tide gauges that will be able to pick up on exactly what those wind speeds are, and so we can confirm if it really is 150 miles an hour or if it is greater than that. We'll find that out probably very shortly, but this is a very, very strong, incredibly powerful hurricane, and it is going to pack a punch as it makes landfall. So let me go ahead and go to some more graphics here, because I do want to show you that it's not only that we're under a flash flood watch. Not only do we have a tornado watch to our east, we have a high wind warning because of these strong winds. So that high wind warning, I want to show you it real quick here. is actually right along the coast. So this is the area that's going to get the brunt force of the hurricane. Now, hurricane force winds could extend all the way to Baton Rouge, but we're talking about more of a lower hurricane, category 1, maybe category 2. On the immediate coastline, such as High Island or Thibodeau or Houma or even New Orleans, Port Sulphur, this area in light blue is under an extreme wind warning, and you need to treat that as if it is a tornado warning. You need to take shelter in the center of your building in a very closed space, maybe in a closet in the center of your building, because if your structure that you're in, and again, very powerful major category 4 hurricane, if your structure gives way, you're going to be safer if you are in, say, a closet in the middle of your house, because it won't collapse on itself, which is good news, but still it will depend. And the hurricane winds only extend out to about 30 to 40 miles from the center of the circulation, which is why that warning is in this particular area. Notice it's really a narrow path. I showed you the tropical storm winds earlier. The whole area was highlighted, you're guaranteed. But hurricane force winds, this system is going to weaken rapidly. So as it goes on land, the chance of seeing those winds weakens and weakens and is almost pretty much gone once you get to Mississippi. But it also depends on how far away from the eye you are. So for example, yesterday we were thinking maybe it might make landfall somewhere near Morgan City. Now it's making landfall obviously near Port Fourchon, but still we're talking about very strong winds only near the center. So Thibodeau included in that, Houma included in that. You're talking about widespread catastrophic damage, and that is something that we will just have to watch very closely. And if you are out there, again, you should be sheltering as best as you can. And again, I want to show you this cone again as we take a look. It's category 4, making landfall as we speak, and as it moves inland, it will maintain its category 2 status as it moves just west of Lake Maurepas and just east of Baton Rouge, moving inland. And again, that cone has shifted to the east. You look at that center line, the center of the cone, it is just to the east of Baton Rouge. So we're seeing still hurricane force winds, maybe not causing the catastrophic damage once it reaches Baton Rouge, but still very extensive damage expected once it moves towards Baton Rouge.